Hello and welcome to Movement with Laurelle, hosted by Wild Wandering Creations. I'm Laurelle and I'm going to be leading you through this practice today. I'm so excited to be back here moving with all of you, moving and breathing. This class is all about nourishment. I thought what a great way to welcome the month of January, then what better way than with nourishment. So go ahead, find your way into some comfortable clothes. We're going to be using a block or something that's a little bit firmer at the beginning of our practice. So go ahead and grab that and I will meet you on the mat. So we're going to start off with our block just at the top of the mat here today. And I just want it on the first height. So make sure that it's on that first height. If you have a little bit of a thicker block, that's also great. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to find our way onto our bellies. So we're going to slowly move onto our belly. And then what we're going to do once we get there is we're going to start to slide that right arm across over towards that left side. And then that left arm is going to cross over the right. So we're going to get into a little bit of a shoulder opening here. And then we're going to slowly lower our head down towards that block. Now, if the block is if it's too low of a height, you're welcome to bring it up to that second height. And then start to gently lower the head down. Now, at first, this shape can feel a little uncomfortable and we can find some gripping in the legs. So seeing if you can soften into it. And just allow yourself to open through the shoulders. So begin by taking nice deep breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose if that's available to you. And seeing if you can feel the shoulders soften just a little bit more as you continue to breathe. And our class focus today is nourishment. So we're going to be doing some small movements. It's a little bit of a slower practice. We're going to dive into all those small joints, those small muscles, and give them a little bit of attention. Sometimes they get missed. So if you'd like to set an intention or an affirmation for your practice, you can go ahead and set it now. And if nothing's coming to mind, maybe simply repeating, my heart is open to receiving. My heart is open to receiving and welcoming in nourishment. And if we think about nourishment, thinking about nourishment is really compassion towards ourselves. Tending to our needs, and opening up to the soft spots of ourselves. And as we continue to settle into this space, let's take a moment to recognize that yoga is an ancient Eastern practice, most notably from India, thanking our South Asian ancestors who cultivated this practice for us to be able to partake in it. When you're ready, slowly begin to lift that head away from that support. And then we're just going to slide the arms back from underneath. And we're just going to find our way into a Sphinx Pose. So the forearms find the earth. Our gaze is forward. Our chest is open. Try not to collapse through the shoulders. And really start to open up through the heart. Breathe in nice and deep. Feel free to allow that breath to become audible. And then moving to the other side, we're slowly going to start to slide that left arm over towards that right side. And then this time that right arm is going to slide on top. So just switching our arms a little bit. And then you're going to start to lower that forehead towards that support, whether it's on its first height, its second height. And it could be different on the side. Maybe there's a little bit more opening in the shoulders here. So just allowing yourself to fall into it. Noticing if this side is a little bit easier, or maybe it feels a little bit more challenging. Maybe the shoulders are a little tighter in this placement. Finding your breath. And allowing yourself to hold here. We've got 3 more deep breaths here. And then slowly, when you feel ready, start to lift that forehead away from that support. We're going to slide those arms back underneath, coming back into that Sphinx pose. The shoulders ground down, fingertips spread nice and wide, open up the chest. And you're more than welcome to stay right here, or you can take it one step further, moving into seal pose. So taking the hands to the corners of the mat and then pressing into it, opening up the chest. Make sure that there's no pinching or discomfort in the low back. Lift it open. We'll hold here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Slowly release. Start to slide those hands underneath the shoulders, tuck through those toes. Come into a tabletop position, and you're just going to slowly move that support off to the side. Keeping the knees underneath those hips, slide the arms forward in front of you, and then start to sink down into puppy pose. So here you want the earth to start to connect to the earth. Start to slowly draw it closer. Keep the hips higher. Feel that nice length in the spine. Breathe into the pelvis and along the spine for 3. For 2. And for 1. Press into those hands. Come back up through center. Let's find our tabletop. We're going to move through some cat-cows here. So drop through the belly, lift the heart. And then start to gently round through the spine. Push the floor away. Just finding a little movement here. Loosening up through the spine. And I encourage you here to find anything that feels good in the body. So if it's circles, if it's dropping through the shoulder, if it's dropping through the hips, close the eyes and don't worry about what you look like. It's all about what you feel like. So this nourishment, this practice is just for you. It's to fill you up and make you feel really good. So a couple more deep breaths here. And then start to slowly find your way back to that nice neutral spine. And we're going to find some nice wrist stretches today. So we're going to slowly start to press the back of the hand, the back of that left hand into the earth. And here you're just going to start to rock that weight forward and back a little bit. And if it feels good, maybe start to make some circles with the body one way. And then switch it the other way. And using that right hand for support, so you're not putting too much pressure in that left side, just enough so that you can feel a little bit of a sensation. Start to come back through center. And then gently release that palm back down towards the earth, and then just take a moment to feel the vibrations in that left wrist. There might be a little bit of tingling, a little bit of heat or cooling. And then gently switching sides, starting to press the back of the right hand in. And again, let's start to rock that weight forward and back. Use that left hand for support. And then start to maybe make some nice circles with the body one way. And then the other way. Nice and gentle. Move with breath, seeing if you can hold your awareness here, stay in the present, and then come back through. Hold, and then slowly release that right palm down, and seeing again, can you feel into that sensation in the right wrist? What's different and similar from the first side? Getting a little deeper into the wrist, let's start to slowly take the left fingertips towards the body. You're going to start to press that palm so the forearm is facing the front of the mat. And again, let's start to rock that weight forward and back here. And as you rock the weight, the intensity of that sensation in the forearm should shift and change, and just paying attention to that. We use our arms and our wrists and our hands so much, especially if we're at a desk all the time. And this helps us to release that tension, that tightness that often builds in this space. And start to slow it down. Hold here. And then slowly begin to take the fingertips back towards the top. Give yourself a moment to experience this. And then slowly begin to take the right fingertips towards the body. And let's start to rock that weight forward and back. Nice and gentle. One more deep breath here. And then slowly find a little bit of stillness. And we'll start to turn the fingertips back towards the top. We got one more wrist stretch, so hang in there. A lot of focus on the small movements today, those small muscles. So what you're going to do for this third one is you're going to start to press the fingertips into the earth. And what I want you to do is start to lift that space just between the palm and the wrist. Now that thumb might start to lift away from the earth, and that's okay, but we just want a really, really small movement. So you're going to keep that right hand grounded and start to slowly just lift that space and then drop it down. Nice and small. You might not even be able to see the movement because it's so small. And this is a really good exercise to practice if you've ever wanted to get into handstands. It's really good to prepare for a downward facing dog. So give yourself a moment here. A couple more times, just breathing. And then gently release that hand down. Just take a moment. And then we'll move over to the right side. So spread those fingertips nice and wide. And start to slowly lift that small space. Now one side might feel easier than the other. This right side definitely feels a little bit easier for me. And it might be that your more dominant hand is a little bit easier to control. One more deep breath here. Let's find a few more movements. Should feel intense in that forearm. And then we'll slowly start to tuck into those toes. Start to sit back onto those heels. And we're just going to give those wrists a little shake, a little release. And we'll interlace those hands, pull them together into a fist, and just roll it out. Nice and easy. Shake, shake, shake. Give them a little flick. Should feel quite intense on those toes, so just find a few more breaths here, let it go. And then start to find your way into a tabletop position and give those feet a little tap, tap, tap. Release it out. Come back into that tabletop, and we're going to take those knees just a little bit wider. You're going to take that right hand to the center of the mat and then start to lift that left arm up. And as you lift the right arm up, you're going to make a fist with that left hand. You're going to start to roll out that wrist. Should feel really good after all those stretches. And then move the other direction. And then start to spread those fingertips nice and wide. And then slowly start to guide that left arm underneath the right. Take that left shoulder down, that left ear down. Maybe reach the right arm towards the top and sink into the hips. Find a deep breath for 3. And for 2. And for 1. Press that right hand back into the earth. Reach the left arm nice and high to the sky. And then gently take it back down. Switching sides, that left hand comes to the center. Reach the right arm up. And as you reach it up, make a fist with that right hand and start to roll out through the wrist. A few more times here. And then open up, spread those fingertips nice and wide, and start to guide that left arm underneath the right. Sorry, that right arm underneath the left. Right shoulder comes down, right ear comes down. Reach the left fingertips forward. Sink into this shape for 3. For 2. And for 1, left hand plants down, reach the right arm up. And let's slowly release that hand back down towards the earth. Let's tuck through those toes. Lift up through those hips. Let's find our downward facing dog. And I want you to notice in your down dog if the hand placement feels a little bit easier or maybe a little bit lighter, a little softer after those wrist stretches. Spread those fingertips nice and wide. Maybe start to pedal out through the feet, bending one knee and the other. Just exploring, shifting our weight. And then seeing if you can sink those heels a little closer to the earth. You can have a soft bend in the knees here. Let that head hang heavy. Give it a shake no, a nod yes. And then settle into stillness. Find a nice full breath. Sigh out the mouth, let it go. And then start to walk the feet towards the hands, towards the top of the mat. Fold the body forward here. You can find a halfway lift. Hands find shins. And then fold forward. Feet plant into the earth, reach up, rise through center. Interlace the hands at the top and press them towards the sky. Nice long stretch, soften through the shoulders. And then gently release the hands, take them behind the body, interlace them, open up through the heart. Slowly start to dive the body forward, fold forward here. Hands reach overhead. Release the hands towards the earth. Find a nice deep bend in that right knee. Straighten through the left. Right hand plants down. Start to twist open towards that left side. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Maybe you take it behind that low back. Open up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly take it back down. Straighten through both legs. Halfway lift, hands on shins. Release forward. Take that left hand down, deep bend in the left knee. Right hand reaches towards the sky as you twist open. Maybe you stay here, maybe that right hand finds the low back, open up, spin, open the heart. 1 more full breath here. And then gently take it back down. Hands find shins. Release down. Step that right foot back. Step that left foot back, downward facing dog. And then slowly pull the knees towards the earth. Big toes touch. Reach those arms forward. Child's pose. And take a moment here to really sink into the hips. Reaching those arms forward. Allowing the arms to settle to the earth. And seeing if those hips can just draw a little closer towards the heels. Let yourself melt into the shape. This is one of the most nourishing shapes to me. I absolutely love it. And sometimes child's pose takes a little bit of push and pull to find the love for this shape because it can feel tight in the hips. But the more we take it, the more open we feel. So finding a space in this shape that helps you settle, release, and then take a nice big breath in, long breath out, and then start to slowly press away from the earth. I'm going to slowly slide those legs forward in front of you. And I apologize for my voice, and my allergies are pretty bad right now. So if I sound a little congested, that's why. Give those legs just a little shake as you settle. And then start to flex the toes towards you. Reach the arms up towards the sky and find a nice soft bend forward. So maybe the hands reach the toes, maybe the ankles, or maybe the shins, or maybe just simply fall alongside the body. And allow your spine to round here. So tuck that chin in towards your chest. Let everything go inward. And then slowly in your own time, start to roll up through center. Reach those arms up. Take them alongside the body. And then we'll start to bend into that left leg. And we're going to keep that right leg nice and straight. So pull the sole of the left foot inward. Start to flex through those right toes. And you're going to slowly start to turn your upper body to face that extended leg. And we're going to slowly just crawl those fingertips forward. And this time we're going to hinge from the hips. So we're going to try to keep the spine nice and long. And start to draw that heart towards the earth. And you can tuck that chin in towards the chest just to protect that neck. This is a nice passive fold, so we're not straining, we're just finding a little bit of stretch, a little bit of a release. And then slowly start to come back through center. Gently switching sides, let's extend that left leg. Sole of the right foot comes in. Lift the heart and start to turn towards that extended leg. Open up here and then start to crawl those fingertips forward. Hinge from those hips, keep the spine long, keep the chest open, shoulders soften. One more full breath. And then start to slowly come back up through center. Slowly draw the soles of the feet together. Take them out nice and wide. We're going to come into a nice butterfly shape, cobbler. And just let those knees flutter from side to side. And then gently let them release, let go. We're going to take our thumbs, bring them to the soles of the feet, and we're just going to give those feet a nice little massage. Our feet hold our whole weight all day, every day. So just giving them some love, some support, some nourishment. And this is how we can show up for ourselves, how we can be compassionate towards ourselves and show self-love. Just a few more breaths here. Maybe give yourself a soft little smile. Maybe you close the eyes and just feel into these sensations. And then you can let that go. Hands find the ankles and then start to round forward. Tuck that chin in towards the chest. Maybe find a little shift in the weight from side to side. And then slowly start to roll up through center. Hands come onto the outside of those knees. Let's gently press them together. Soles of the feet come down. And then we're going to slowly begin to find our way onto our backs. So find your way to your back in any way that feels good for you. It can be a rock and roll. It can just be simply lying back, whatever works for you. And we're just going to pull the knees in towards the chest. Give ourselves a little squeeze. Rock from side to side. Give that low back a nice massage. And then we're going to start to slowly lower the soles of the feet towards the earth, and the arms are going to come out nice and wide in a T shape. I'm going to slowly just shift those hips over towards the right and let the knees fall to the left, coming into a nice supine twist. And I like to turn my gaze away from the knees. You're welcome to do so, or just keep the gaze towards the sky. And allow the knees to fall open. Shoulders stay connected to the earth. And we'll breathe here for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly begin to take the knees back through center. Shift the hips over towards the left so we can find the other side. Knees fall to the right. Gaze over to the left, away from the knees. Settle in. Allow the breath to hold you here, and allow each exhale to take you deeper into stillness, into relaxation. One more full breath here. And then slowly start to draw the knees back through center. Hips shift back to the center of the mat. And this time I want you to extend the legs out nice and long. And we're going to come into our final resting shape of Shavasana. And we often love to rush through Shavasana or skip it. And I encourage you to just allow your body to rest. Give yourself this moment of true relaxation. So as you start to settle into this shape, I want you to offer yourself a quick body scan. So starting from the crown of the head and the fingers and the toes. From the toes and the fingers and the crown. Start to feel the whole body soften. Start to feel the whole body let go. Soften the muscles in the face, the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks. Release any tension in the jaw. Allow the lips to part slightly. Maybe the tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. Muscles in the throat soften. The arms and the legs get heavy. Chest and belly are soft and open. Breathing space in between the fingers and the toes. This is what it feels like to fully relax and let go. Submerge yourself in this experience. Give yourself a few moments of deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Shavasana. If you wish to stay here in this shape, I encourage you to pause the video so that you can allow yourself to rest. If you're feeling called to move, you can begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe rock the head from side to side, nice and gentle. Start to pull the head back through center. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little rock from side to side. And then begin to gently roll the body onto one side and hold there, allowing yourself to rest. And then slowly pushing yourself back up through center, finding your way into a comfortable seat. Slowly begin to settle in your seat, soften those shoulders. Begin to place both hands over the heart and take a moment here. Deep breath in, long breath out. You can repeat your affirmation or your intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Or simply repeating, my heart is open to receiving. Deep nourishment. And nourishment, providing nourishment to our bodies is really compassion towards ourselves, tending to our needs. I hope this class has left you feeling nourished and relaxed and ready for your day or ready for your evening. And I hope you've enjoyed your practice today. With gratitude for our practice and with gratitude for our community, thank you so much for holding space with me today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. It feels so good to be back in this space offering these classes. If you enjoyed the class, please give it a like. Please let me know in the comments section below how it left you feeling. And I look forward to spending more time with you this year. Don't forget to subscribe so that you get access to free meditation, yoga, and now astrology videos every single week. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, thank you.